Ladies, the more expensive you look and the more expensive you sound, whether that's through your education, how worldly you are, what you wear, if you're dripped out in designers or you just have like a really elegant look about you, you know who you are, by the way, if you're in this category. The more expensive you look, the smaller your dating pool is going to be. Because a lot of men, while they might pursue you for their own personal ego validation, will have a hard time committing to you because your presence makes them feel insecure. See, men are hardwired to be providers. And so if they see someone like you, they might feel like, I can't provide anything for her that she doesn't already have. Or I can't impress her the way I can impress a woman who doesn't have all those things. So they will go for a girl who makes them feel a lot more in their masculine energy. And sometimes it's not about you. It's just about them and their own complex. I've used this example before about Bugattis, right? Bugattis are beautiful, luxury, expensive cars, but there's a reason not a lot of people walk into that dealership because not a lot of people can afford them. And even the people who can afford them sometimes feel insecure about like the fact that someone could steal the car or they don't want to, drive around in something that flashy. So I'm not saying turn yourself into a Toyota or a Benz, but don't be surprised when not a lot of people walk into your dealership if you're giving out that expensive vibe. Because like I said, the pool is just smaller. Hold out for the right customer. Wink, wink. And no, I'm not objectifying women. Follow for more and good luck.
This is supposedly a dating coach, right? This is why I say women give terrible advice and they're terrible role models. It is about you, right? When you're the one who's failing in relationships, it's about you, okay? Especially when I say it's easy for women to get men to be with them, commit to them, be in a relationship with them. And when it's easy and yet you still fail at it, it's absolutely you. This is the thing, men aren't insecure. It's about the risk reward. This is the thing where women seem like men can't provide or don't want to provide. It's that, why would they want to provide? It's not because they feel like, oh, you have everything and they can't impress you. It's that, what's the point, right? It's that if even trying and you're jaded about it, you don't care about it, you you belittle it, they think that it's annoyance. It's not insecurity. This is the thing where women got to give up the whole insecurity talk, because it's not. This is the thing where men think about, it's more about it being an annoyance. It's not being worth it. The risk reward, where women might make it hard to deal with her, and then men think about, why would I want to deal with this? Let's see, how is it worth how hard it is to deal with, right? It's the worthwhileness, right? Yes, men may go for other women that make it easier, but it's like the risk reward, right? Most likely your reward of being with you isn't worth it. That's the thing where women don't understand. A lot of women are not making it worthwhile for men to be with. You're not providing anything, let's say, besides looks. You're just a whole lot of risk. So men see like, why even bother? Yes, I'm gonna deal with you until, you know what? The reward isn't worth it anymore. Your looks, practically most women have good looks, or most women are attractive towards two men. So really, your looks only go so far until men see that it's not worthwhile anymore.
Finally found a good man, and this blank boring AF. I need some conflict in my life.
Be warned, this is very controversial opinion I have. I think this is a problem with most women. That most women are addicted to the dopamine effects of high emotional levels, right? High happiness, high sadness, right? Just the dopamine effect that comes from, really crazy imbalances of emotions, right? The dramas, right? That, I think most women are addicted to that because they're emotional, and so they thrive on it. They live off of it. It's just them, emotional. So that's why I believe most marriages don't work, because they're bored. They don't get that dopamine effect. because marriages may be fine, may be good, but they don't get that dopamine effect. Like, let's say, the first date with a man, the high of like first time having sex with a man, or first kiss with a man, or just a bunch of firsts, right? They lose that dopamine high, right? The excitement or whatever. And I believe, in my opinion, that's why most marriages don't work. Because most marriages, they don't file it under infidelity or, whatever. It's really, what is it, the irrevocable differences or whatever. It's just, they decide to end it. And usually I believe the decision to end it is by, a lot of times it's just unhappiness, but it's like they're bored of it. This is not making them happy. This relationship isn't making them happy. But it's like they want that high. They want that fix of, first time getting married. Like I said, all these firsts, all these exciting moments. And after years of a partner, you don't get that anymore. You don't necessarily get those excitement highs. And women, in my opinion, don't know how to operate or operate for long without these, momentary highs. And I think if after years, women want these momentary highs consistently, but they find out they can't get it. But within certain relationships, they will leave it because they're still hoping for go to the next man, get that high, the next man, and so on and so on. And I honestly believe that is the detriment of a lot of marriages and a lot of relationships. Again, it is because women are looking for that dopamine high, right? That emotions, like high level emotions, get for them. So, yeah. That's why I think, like, sometimes even being in, like, let's say a healthy relationship, having a good man isn't enough for women because it doesn't excite women, because there was a study that said women get bored easily. They get bored easily in relationships. They're the ones who are more likely not to love monogamous relationships for long because of that boredom. So even if you're a good guy, there's always a risk that the day she finds that she's not happy right then and there, she could decide to leave. You don't know when. You don't know why. So
I'm gonna let this woman say it all.
I almost broke up with my husband because I thought he was boring. Turns out he was just healthy and sane. You see, when I was dating my husband, I realized how joyful he was, how active he was, how motivated, career, goal-driven, money saver, never wanted any problems. And every time we became misaligned, he would just want to sit down and talk about it calmly, hear each other out, forgive each other if necessary, and just move on and continue growing. And I misinterpreted this as him not fighting for my love. You see, I grew up in a very chaotic type of love, the novela type, where everybody's slamming doors, yelling at each other. You don't talk to each other for days. And so I thought that was love. I thought that was passion. And what I want to remind you of is to look back at the type of love that you grew up around and ask yourself if you were just addicted to a chaotic, dramatic type of love, and realize that that's not the type of love that you need now in your relationship, that you need now to grow. God doesn't want that for you. You understand? Look at that for a second and ask yourself, how do you want to love? How do you want to be loved? Because I'll tell you one thing, it's not the novela type.
Why
of
lesbian
not.
relationships don't last. Well, it is
That's
why.
going to get clipped.
Well, it is why. It is why, because about 75% of divorces are initiated by women. And the simplest explanation for that is that on average, the most unhappy person in the relationship is going to be the woman. Well, why? Well, because on average, she has higher levels of negative emotion. That doesn't necessarily mean that negative emotion doesn't reflect problems in the relationship.
Yeah.
But she's going to be more sensitive to that. Well, so if you put two women together, well, what do you think happens?
See, this is something that we as society don't talk about because we would like to root all problems back to men. And in my honest opinion, and again, of course, there's men that are terrible or they are the problem, but in my honest opinion, most problems, let's say in these marriages and relationships, it stems from women. And it stems from women in the sense that because they are emotional, in the sense that they could be happy one moment, not happy another, or they look for the partner to find validation or happiness, right? Because if one moment the partner is not making them happy, boom, they think the whole relationship is unhappiness. Or is that, or is this is the thing where they could pick a partner, because this is the thing where I find the insanity, right? You pick a partner to, one, give your body to, marry, even have kids with. And then suddenly, you know what? You want this person to change in a way, right? You want the person to change. You want the situation to change. You want changes. And I always think that, because it's probably like an emotional, response where you want some different form of happiness. Because to be honest, I feel like a lot of women are driven by a dopamine effect of, highs of, like, the first kiss, the first time you go on a relationship, the first time you talk to a new person, stuff like that. But after a while, you don't get that dopamine effect from a 10-year relationship, a 15-year relationship, a long-term relationship. So they get bored. Boredom is a very big killer for women. And then they want changes. They bring chaos. They don't bring peace. So that's why I say, like, a lot of times, women not being happy in the long term is the root of a lot of relationship unhappiness, the root of a lot of relationship failure. Because you always think, right? And I don't condone it, why do men get toxic, abusive, or just they cheat and stuff? We forget that, although that is a bad outcome or consequence or whatever, there's a root, right? Where, let's say, a neglectful wife or a toxic wife in itself, there's roots, right? There's problems within it. And like I said, I'm not excusing the behavior. I'm just saying that, like, we forget that women can make relationship very chaotic, very emotional highs and lows and stuff. So, because again, even in relationships with other women, you get a lot of the same results, right? A lot of the same, situations. So we don't talk about it. We always think that, okay, it's men, they cheat, they're abusive, they're toxic, boom. But we don't really dig in deeper because it's already ugly, right, with those headlines. But I always think that there's two parties in it, right? It's rarely just one person doing some bad things out of nowhere. So this is the thing where we gotta think that, honestly, men are easily content, right? Men are easily happy. A lot of times it's women. They get bored easily.
So why is it that men feel threatened when a female has a lot of male friends that are just friends that we don't sleep with?
This is something women can never seem to grasp. Men are not threatened. Men don't feel threatened. Right? If you are in a long-term relationship with a woman, men mitigate risk. It's like women live in a carefree world, while men, they're on guard because they see how the world is. If a woman have a lot of male friends, he knows that more than likely most of the friends, if not all of them, are biding their time. That they couldn't get with her right away or in the beginning, so they play the long game and, like, becoming friends, right? Showing her that, oh, he's a good guy, he's worthy of her time and attention. So men know that, okay, this man's playing the long game. He wants to get in eventually, find the kink in the armor and jump at it. Men know that. And women seem to, like, be oblivious to it. And yet they know that these men would want them. This is the craziness, right? Women know that these friends, if they allow it, these friends, these so-called friends, would jump at the chance to be in bed with her. And sometimes jump in the chance to be in a relationship with her. These women know it. So how is that a friend? How is that a platonic friendship when these men would gladly have sex with you, gladly be in a relationship with you? So it's not feeling threatened by anything. It's like mitigating risk. The risk of the relationship breaking up because, okay, another man, The risk of, okay, if you are arguing with your boyfriend, you come to your male best friend. Well, he's going to like be your shoulder to cry on, right? Be with you at your weak point. And then the potential of the chance of jumping in, comforting her, and something happening. It's that scenario has happened countless of times. And it seems like women are oblivious to it. But yet they know that these men would want them. So it's just, this is the thing where you are just looking out to call men insecure, call men, just names, make men feel little for actually caring about the relationship. That's insanity to me, right? Your boyfriend, your man is mitigating risk of the relationship ending. It's beyond me.